All right, for this explainer, we're going to shrink ourselves way, way down to the microscopic level. We're going to explore one of the most incredible and honestly most important structures in all of biology, the biological membrane. This thing is the gatekeeper that makes all life as we know it even possible.
Okay, let's just jump right in with a huge question. Think about it. What's the actual physical line between a living cell and, well, everything else? What's stopping all the complex machinery of life from just spilling out and turning into a puddle of chemical soup?
The answer is the cell's living border. And I want you to get any image of a static wall or a simple plastic bag out of your head. This thing is a dynamic, intelligent, and constantly working barrier that's just as alive as the cell it's protecting. So here's the more official definition. And the two most important words here are selectively permeable. This means the membrane is basically the world's best bouncer. It is meticulously checking IDs, deciding who gets in, who gets kicked out, and making sure the vibe inside the cell stays just right. It's not a wall, it really is a bustling border crossing. So, how in the world do you build a structure this amazing? Well, biologists have a name for the blueprint that just perfectly captures what it is: the fluid mosaic model. It might sound a little complicated, but I promise it's actually beautifully simple once you see how it works. So here are the key players, the tiles that make up our mosaic. The main fabric is something called the phospholipid bilayer. Just think of it as a flexible, oily, two-layered sheet. Then, embedded in that sheet, you have the proteins. These are the real workers, the gates, the tunnels, the sensors. You've also got cholesterol wedged in there, which is super important for keeping the fabric from getting too runny or too stiff. And sticking out on the surface, you've got carbohydrates, which act like little ID tags so cells can recognize each other. And this is where that name, fluid mosaic, really clicks. The fluid part means that the main fabric, that oily sea of phospholipids, is always moving. Things are constantly drifting around in it. And the mosaic part, well, that refers to all those different proteins bobbing around in the sea, creating this ever-shifting pattern, just like tiles in a piece of mosaic art. It's a structure that's defined by its constant, controlled movement.
Okay, so we've got our dynamic, moving border. But what good is a border crossing if nothing can actually get through, right? The membrane's most critical job is managing traffic. And to do that, it has to be incredibly selective.
This quote just nails it. A cell has to constantly bring in good stuff like sugar and oxygen, and it has to get rid of waste like carbon dioxide. If the membrane was a solid wall, the cell would starve and poison itself in seconds. It's this controlled traffic that lets the cell maintain a perfect internal balance, which scientists call homeostasis. Now, all of this traffic moving back and forth can be sorted into two main categories. And it all boils down to one simple question: does it cost the cell any energy? You can either go with the flow, like a ball rolling downhill, that's passive transport, or you can fight against the flow, like a machine pushing a ball back uphill, and that's active transport. All right, first up, let's talk about the easy route, passive transport. This is like floating down a river. It's just the natural movement of stuff from an area where there's a lot of it to an area where there's less of it. And the key thing is, it costs the cell absolutely zero energy. And this happens in a few different ways. For really tiny molecules like oxygen or carbon dioxide, they can just slip right through the oily membrane. That's called simple diffusion. Water has its own special version of this called osmosis. And for slightly bigger things like glucose, the cell has special protein tunnels to help them get across. That's facilitated diffusion. But in every single one of these cases, the direction is always downhill, always with the natural flow.
But you know, life isn't always about taking the easy way out. What if a cell needs to stock up on something? What if it needs to bring something inside even when there's already more of it inside than out? How do you push something uphill? Well, that's when the cell has to open its wallet and spend some energy.
And this is active transport. The cell uses its energy currency, a molecule called ATP, to power these incredible little molecular machines that literally pump substances against the way they would naturally flow. This is how a cell can hoard the nutrients it needs or forcefully kick out the trash it doesn't want.
This slide shows us exactly how one of these pumps works. It's a really elegant four-step process. First, the pump grabs a specific molecule. Then, a burst of energy from ATP forces the pump to change its shape. That shape change literally shoves the molecule through to the other side. And finally, the molecule is released and the pump snaps back, ready for the next one. It's precise, it's powerful, and it's happening millions of times a second in your body right now.
So what's the big takeaway here? This quote really says it all.
This elegant, active border is everything. By spending energy to control its own little world, the cell creates order out of the randomness of the universe. It's the fundamental thing that separates a complex, working, living system from just a bunch of chemicals.
And that leaves us with one last really important thought. If this border is the foundation of a healthy, functioning cell, what happens when it fails? What happens when the gates get stuck or the pumps break down? See, understanding how this membrane works isn't just some abstract biology lesson. It's the key to understanding the very basis of health and of disease.